I have a passion for what I do, LGBTQ plus weddings and all weddings where that couples value diversity and inclusivity. That's my jam.
Okay, I think this is working now, you guys. Sorry. I've been trying to go live, and for some reason, I'm not sure if the tech gods have it out for me again, but hopefully you guys can all join. There we go. Yay. Sean is here. Okay, give me 1 second. There we go. We had in Chad Daniels from a Monique Affair. Let's see here. Come on. Yay!
Yay, am
Can
I
you
here?
Are you here? Oh, good. I seriously, I think like the tech gods just sometimes they're just not very happy with me for whatever reason. Now you're spinning. Can you hold on here?
Well,
Can
let's
you
see.
hear?
I'm pressing go live.
Well, I can see you. It's like still thinking, but I can hear you.
Oh,
Can you
that's
hear me?
yeah, I can hear you. Do you want me to log in and try to go back, request to come back?
Let's see. I mean, I think okay. Let's see. I'm gonna try to have you reach. I'm gonna close you out, and then I'm gonna have you rejoin again. Okay.
Okay.
Okay. All right. So we're going to try this again because technology is my friend. Not really, but we're going to pretend like technology is my friend. Um, we have Tana Daniels tonight with us for our IG Live, and she's absolutely amazing. Hey, Jazzy. Give me 1 second here. Let's see if we can get her back in here. I have no idea. Oh, there she is. All right, we're going to add her back in and see if it works. Ta-da!
Yes. Oh my goodness. I know how it is sometimes. It's just like
I don't know. I'm like, this is how like you're supposed to be able to press the buttons and they work, but I have like a special skill that like descends it like they just don't like me. It's just I don't know. I think they have it out for me. But
oh
how
my God.
are you? So good to see you.
So good to see you too. I'm doing well. I'm doing well. Just like hanging in like the rest of us and just trying to like keep positive and get ready for the next season, however that's going to look, but it's just like everybody else, just trying to hang in there.
That's good. Are most of your weddings rescheduled to 2021?
All of them. Yes.
All of them? Okay.
All of them are over and it's just now. I mean, I feel like I told my clients in January that's when we'll start to, because they were pretty much done. They were pretty
Yeah.
much planned and everything. So in January, we're going to pick up there and just kind of refresh and just get things going. If we can, if weddings will be allowed or how they will be allowed, that's the biggest piece. How will they be allowed next season? So,
And it's so hard because I mean, not only are the 2020 weddings rescheduled to 2021, we also have 2021 weddings that are like, I need to just hold for a minute because if I have to reschedule to 2022, I don't want to have all my vendors set and then have to pay rescheduling fees. So it's like literally the entire industry is just like on this pause where we're just waiting, like really just waiting to see like what happens.
yeah, and that's the scary part because nobody can make a move because we don't
Right.
know. Don't know. So like you said, when you have a new client coming in, you just don't know.
No, no, absolutely. Absolutely.
And it's
Well,
such a unique place to be too.
it
I mean,
is.
I've never experienced this. I'm sure nobody has ever experienced anything like this before, but it's just like to be on pins and needles and not
Yeah,
being able to make any kind of move. It gets, a little stressful.
completely. Because I mean, nobody knows what will be allowed, if anything, and then if it will be, what that capacity is going to look like in terms of for the venue, or, you know, even things like, I think it's interesting because even as things were starting to reopen, people were like, okay, so I think it was New Jersey that was like, okay, you know, we can reopen and it can be like 25 or 30 people, but that includes the couple, and it includes the officiant, and it includes the planner, and it includes like all of these people. And then even like contactless deliveries and everything, it was like, okay, so they're going to have to be here then. And so we're going to be maxed out of like the capacity. So you can't, the rest of them like can't come and drop this off until late, like serious, like, you know, Tetris rescheduling
Yes.
going.
Yes. It's really, like I said, yeah, when you think about all the creatives, like having those included too, it's like, what, how many guests you get to have? Like two once you
Yeah.
start adding in all the people. So we'll just see. We will just see. But I'm sure, I have a feeling that we're all going to be prepared
Yeah.
because we've had so much time to like come up with game plans, and you know, we're planners, so we have the plan A, B, and C ready and just ready for that go flag. So
Absolutely.
we're going to hit the ground running whenever we're allowed to.
I love it. Well, especially, I mean, so tell everyone if they don't already know who you are, because you've been in the industry, I think as long as I have, like 20 years, right?
It's been just 1 year over. So I'm February coming up, it'll be 22 years. But
Oh
yes,
my,
it's been a very long time. So if for those who don't know me, my name is Shonda Daniels, and I am the owner and creative director of A Monica Fair, and also of Shonda Daniels Planning and Design. So again, I'm located in Oakland, San Francisco Bay Area, Oakland native, and I have a passion for what I do, LGBTQ plus weddings, and all weddings where that couples value diversity and inclusivity. That's my jam. Those are the folks that I love. Those are the ones that are attracted to me. So I'm so extremely blessed that I've been able to continuously do this
that's
for,
awesome.
for this long.
That's so awesome. And so, I mean, for having been in the industry for so long, what do you most, obviously besides everything right now, but like, I mean, what have you seen that you've been most proud of in our industry? Like, I mean, over the last kind of 2 decades, because I mean, it's funny whenever I have, you know, people on lives with me, and it's like we reminisce. It's like I remember when it's like you literally had like two options for your wedding. It was like, do you want option A or option B? Because those are the only options. Like you didn't get to personalize and customize and like have all of these special elements. It was like, no, you're having a wedding, and then this is how we do it. So like, what do you love most about doing weddings now versus how they were before?
What I love most is that I get to work with such a dynamic and amazing group of creatives where things were very limited back then. But the one biggest thing that stands out the most is that I remember when it was just, well, okay, I'm dating myself. Who cares? But
I'm
I
with you.
remember when it was just poly cotton. Like that was the linen. The linen was the color of the rainbows, of course, but there were no textures. It was just like plain poly cotton.
Yep.
And so now to have so many options and to have like, because I love textures, right? So to have something to feel, I love a nice velvet linen. So to have all these things now to where it's just not the A or B. You know what I mean? So that part I really love. And then what I'm most proud of right now, like in this, what we're doing right now, is even before George Floyd and everybody's starting to open up and realizing, ooh, we don't have diversity. There was still, there was still a group of um, Black wedding professionals who held each other down, who held like us together. Like we knew we were doing amazing things before everyone else, because if we didn't have that, if you didn't have a group of cheerleaders around you, you would think like, what the hell are we doing?
Right.
So that is what's made me the most proud, is that even though the world is now opening up and realizing like, oh, we forgot about y'all, we were being held down anyway. We were
Yeah.
being held down in our own rights, and we were creating like Munaluchi, like all these
Yeah.
different
Yeah.
resources, like Munaluchi, H&H Weddings, Equally Wed for our LGBTQ couples. We were being held down. So
Yeah.
now it's like, okay, hi y'all, we're here. So that's been the most,
Yes.
that has like really made me so extremely happy to know that I had a community, but now here we are showing them to everybody else. Everybody's being highlighted, and I love it.
I love that because I think, again, it's one of those things that, like, I think my favorite part is that it's my favorite, but it's also a little bit sad because it's like, dude, you're so late to the party. Like these people have been holding it, like they've been awesome for so long, and it's like they should have been recognized, like, 20 years ago, 15 years ago, 10 years ago, where it's like they were cutting edge, like nobody was doing what they're doing. And
Yes.
and they were championing all of love. And I think that's the one thing, like when you're in the industry, if you don't love love, it's like you should find something else. Like you don't have to do this. Like no one's gonna
Right.
make you do weddings. Go do
Right.
something else. There's a million things you can do. But if you don't love love and all types of love, like you should do something else.
Right. Right. Rethink like why am I not open to this, or why am I not including everybody? Like but it has to be, and I think I've said this before so many times, everybody has to be mindful of that. Every single step of the way, that people have to remember, like, who's in this room, who's at this table. Sometimes it's tiring trying to build your own table, but you do it if you got to do it. But it would be nice to just make sure everybody is invited. So
Well, and sometimes you have to be like, who's not at the table? Because you know what? They need to come. Like, you know what? They
yes,
probably
yes,
want to come and sit at the table too. Like, let's take a look and like not just see what's in front of us, but like look around and behind us and to the side. Like, you know what? There's room. Let me scoot over. Like, we
there
got
is
plenty.
absolutely room. That is
Yeah.
that is the key thing. It is enough, and I've always said this. There's enough weddings. I can't handle every single wedding.
No.
You can't handle every single wedding.
Yeah.
There's so many. There's enough for all of us. So let's not be afraid.
Oh, I think you were, hold on. Can you hear me? You're good. Can you hear me?
I hear you now. I had a
Okay.
call coming in. Sorry, but I know, I'm like, wait, this never happened before. What the hell? But oh my gosh, this is live. This is what happens live,
This
right?
is live, people. Yep. Absolutely.
But,
I love it.
but like I was saying, we now I forgot what I was saying. But yeah, we have to just make sure this is live. This is true
This
live.
is live.
This is authentically Shonda right here.
And that's perfect segue into what we were going to
Yes.
talk about today. Because we're just good like that. That's how we are. Yeah.
Yes.
So I think one of the things that people struggle with, especially right now, and I know for the last few months people have struggled in terms of what being authentic really means, because nobody wants to look like they don't have their, pardon my French, but they don't have their shit together. And they're like, nobody wants to be, hitched to that wagon. Like, yeah, I'm not really with, like, I want to know what we're about, where we're going, what's going on. And nobody really knew what was going on. And that was just, it was so frustrating for so many businesses whose job it is to be the expert, know what's going on. And so there were so many businesses that were just like, how do I be authentic and at the same time not, let my slip show, not like really be all out there where people are losing faith in my abilities. So, I mean, I think that's something that a
Well,
lot of people struggle with.
well, I feel, to me, I feel you have to be like, people have to relate to you. Like, I know that we're not all good right now. I know that we're just like being creative and trying to pull things together and trying to do these lives, do different things to keep people engaged. And that is okay. When you put out that what you're going through, you can't get knocked off a pedal. You can't get knocked off of anything, because I'm letting you know I'm just like you. Like, this is my business. I love weddings, but right now things are kind of weird. It would be strange. You would find it really strange if I was like, everything is perfect. I have like these many weddings booked and blah blah blah. So it's just about like being okay with putting yourself out there. And for me, when I started my business, that was one of the main things, because since we can go way back, when I first started, we didn't even know if we should. The conversation was, oh, do you put your face on your website? Do you let people know that you're Black? Do you let people know that you're gay? Do you let people know all these things? And for me, I think I thought about it for like 1 second, because that was the topic, right? But then I was like, you know what? For real, I'm not going to have somebody come through my door and see that I'm Black, find out that I'm gay. I put that all out there. That's just me. So if you're not going to like me because that's what I put out there, I want you to know ASAP, so you can keep it moving or do what you got to do. I mean, that's just, and I think it comes with age too. I'm going to be 50 years old in February. And to me, I'm just like, I have to be myself. I have to show up like me. Like today, my hair is like absolutely amazing because I just got it done. You may not see it exactly like this, but it's still going to be nice. You know what I'm saying? So
Yeah.
you know what you'll get when you see me versus like me trying to pretend. And I just don't have time for pretending. And I think people connect to you more when you don't pretend. I'm not always on my game. Sometimes I'm just not feeling it. And I can voice that. I can say, hey, this is how I'm feeling today. So I think everybody should have that confidence to know that. And if people don't come to you, that's not your client to begin with, right?
No, I think it's important to understand too the difference between authenticity, right? And there's this like no filter zone where some people are just like, bleh. Like they literally just like open their brain, like open their head and just like pour crap out. And it's like every possible thought. It's like, there's a difference between like, again, verbal vomiting and no filter and being authentic. I mean, I think it's one of those things that as a business owner, really being authentic and being who you are doesn't mean that you always have to have it together, but it doesn't mean that you're like literally like you forget that you're a business and that these are your clients and that you're just like, bleh. Like no one wants to clean up your vomit. Like that's not, verbal or otherwise. Like they're not there for that, so it's like, why would you think that that's part of authenticity? Like that's not what it's about.
Yeah, I think there are some folks, and I don't know if that's just how they authentically are, but to me, I'm not a cursor. So I'm not going to get up and start cursing in front of my clients or cursing in front of people. That's just not me, right? But I know some planners out there who will curse in front of their clients, in front of their creatives, whatever, and then just feel like, well, I'm just being myself. But you still have to be a business person. Like you said, the vomit, no, I'm not down for that. You know what I mean? You still have to present your way as you're a business, but then you still have those same feelings as your clients might have. And when you have the perfect client, for me, when you have the perfect client, that kind of vibes. Like somebody can come into my office. There's been so many times, seriously, where my clients will come into my office and we would have like tough conversations. They're crying, I'm crying, we're crying. It's just like, that's what that connection. Now, if you're crying, I'm just sitting looking at you like, you okay? You know what I mean? That would be a whole different vibe and a whole different way.
That would be that. Yeah, that's not going to be good. Yeah. No. That's funny. Yeah. And I think that, that those are the things that people don't necessarily always think about, right? Because either they're so used to thinking like, okay, I have a business and I need to be like 1,000,000% professional and it has to be all glossy and pretty and Instagram ready, versus, okay, now on the other side, it's like, I haven't showered in 5 days and, like, like I should brush my teeth today. Like, stuff that's an overshare,
Yeah,
that's where the
that,
authenticity, like literally catapulting over the line. Like it's just raw. Like I think somewhere along the lines it was lost. But
yeah,
those are the
that
things that it's like,
definitely.
oh, but I didn't know that I couldn't share that. What do you mean? That's authentic. And it's like, I don't know if I'd go that far. Oh, Black Gay Weddings just joined.
I know. There's so many people. Hi, Laura. I saw you send over a heart. So hey.
Aww. I love it. But those are the things that like really I think people need to understand. So like when you're trying to help, Black wedding professionals understand like kind of how to navigate, and I think this is something like, just like you said, do I put my photo on? And I know like we've had countless people on IG Lives kind of say that, like, I didn't put my photo on my Instagram at first or my website because I didn't want people to not hire me because of who they saw behind my business. Like, how do you feel like people should show up in a way that, again, is comfortable and authentic to them, but also in a way that's going to help their business? Because I think those are things that people get really confused about.
Well, I'll just say, like in the beginning with Instagram. So when Instagram first started out, and I started the A Monica Fair page, I didn't know. It was just kind of trial and error. So I told them about me. I told them about the business. I used to share different kind of images and things like that. But then after a while, just like learning about and just realizing like who I was really talking to and how to talk to those folks, it I kind of cleaned it up. I kind of did a revamp of my Instagram page. So I do share a little bit about my personal life, but I think people like to see you're going out to do a site visit. I do that more in stories, right? To do a site visit because they want to see what you do, what fuels your passion, and also they want to see you in action. Like if they just see an Instagram page, nothing but pretty pictures, they don't, they can relate to it, but they can relate even better when they see, oh, I'm out looking at this beautiful venue and hear your voice and follow you behind the scenes and stuff like that. So I feel like stories is a place for that. You can definitely, it's another way to connect to your people. That's
Yes,
how.
absolutely. And I think what you said was key, because it's the same way that it's easy to tokenize, whether it's an LGBTQ plus vendor or a Black vendor or a BIPOC vendor, like, and to just be like, oh, well, I'm going to use them because they're Black, or I'm going to use them because they're LGBTQ. Like, understanding that if you're not giving them anything other than the fact that you're Black or you're LGBTQ, if you're not showing them who you are as a human being, and that's a component of who you are, it's really hard for them to connect with that. And they have no option but to tokenize you because you haven't given them something to relate to. Because if they are not you, like you, they don't know what do they have to relate to. So I think, exactly what you said, like being able to show them, like, this is me going on a site visit. Like, this is how I do things here with my clients. And this is how we meet. And this is how we process. And this is how we design. And because it's all part of that getting to know you, you're giving them so much to, to not want to throw away the opportunity to meet with you, to work with you.
Yes, because they have different options. They have so many different options to look at. And so you want to do something that's going to set yourself apart and like be and open up to people. So I highly advise just start, like you said, comfortable to you. even if it's just like showing a picture, showing like a video of you driving. If you don't feel comfortable talking, show a video of you driving to a venue and show the name of the venue. Because also, what I've learned too is that people will think, oh, I didn't know that they worked there, or I didn't know that they traveled here, or I didn't know. So it's so many different ways that you can market yourself, but it's not like hire me right now. You're giving them reasons to hire you.
Yes. Yes, absolutely. And I think stories, I mean, it's definitely something that a lot of people don't fully understand how to best utilize in their business because, again, if they're not comfortable in front of the camera or they don't know, like they don't have really kind of that forethought. And I mean, you know, what are your suggestions for them to be able to like think through? So like one is a site visit, one is like kind of
Oh,
showing that like driving, you
you know
know,
what I love? What I love to do? I love to do this part, like showing you do it when you do a cake tasting, showing when you do a cake tasting, showing when you do like a catering tasting, show a picture of the food, show a picture of the cake, show like what it's, I guess if you think about it this way, show things that will show a client what would it be like to work with me. Start there. Like, and then whatever falls in that category, start taping. Start being like I said, that's that connection. That's being relatable. That's being like, oh wow, okay. So we can go out and have this much fun too. She is kind of fun. My gosh, she loves ricotta pancakes. I do too. You know what I mean? Like things that they can connect to.
absolutely. Absolutely. Morris is here from Shades of Grey. He says, hello, ladies. Always good information. Charmed by BP heart eyes emoji.
Oh,
Yeah, I think it's one of those things too that, I mean, if you don't, and if you're not used to using Instagram stories, oops, your photo is thinking. Can you still hear me? There we go. um,
I know this. I seriously, I feel because everybody, so many people are utilizing like Instagram Live and Zoom and stuff. It's just been acting so crazy.
agreed. Agreed. So Michael and Lauren say
What about
Chana's,
y'all?
of course. How can you not love Chana? Not possible. Love it. I love it. So I think one of the things, like, I think exactly what you said, like when you think about your business, even taking the time to like write down, like, what are all the processes that you take your clients, your customers through on that experience journey so that you're then top of mind thinking, okay, what do I have this week? Do I have any site visits? Do I have any catering, cake tasting? Do I have any this, that, or whatever? So then you can kind of schedule it like, okay, when I go, I'm going to definitely make sure that I tape this part of whatever I'm doing. Because I think it's really easy for people to be like, it's easy for people to be like, oh, wait, I should have done that. And it's like already passed.
Yep, we have all this time, so you can make your chart right now and say, okay, these are the things that I'm going to do an Instagram Live on, and even if you're not a planner, if you're a pastry chef, show us behind the scenes of you making the cake, getting your ingredients, like laying them out, like things like that, so people can get excited and say like, oh, they're prepping this cake for me and blah blah blah. Just like I said, any way that you can connect to your audience. That
I
would be
love
my.
it. Yes.
And
And so,
I really like for us to do before the pandemic, we started to do a lot of behind the scenes, but for my team, I have a rule, like we can take a few snapshots or whatever, but then we don't post it until after the wedding. So a lot of, because we're working, if you can get a quick like 5 minutes to capture
I know.
something, boom, do it. But then I'll post them later. So the behind the scenes, the really fun ones that I like is when the photographer catches us and we don't realize it. And so we have these kind of cool shots of us carrying flowers or something like that. So talk to your photographer too. Like when we start doing weddings again, say, hey, if you can capture some behind the scenes, that would be nice. And then incorporate those into your story.
I love that. And I mean, there's so many easy ways that you can do that. So it like, again, it looks really nice and professional, and you can add different components that are interactive and engaging for people to do on stories. And I mean, and I think it's also important to know, like, you need to know your client. So some clients are like, don't post anything until I post the professional photos, or until I whatever. And some people are like, post away. I think it's great, you know, and they're very much like, I want you to post as much as possible. I want everyone to see this. Like, so you need to know your client and have that discussion too, what they want for their social media strategy, because in terms of announcing that, you don't want to let the cat out of the bag if they're not cool with that.
Yes. Yes. Oh, yeah. We never do. Yes. And that's a very good point. It's included in our contract about that we will, like, either we will post pictures unless they tell us not to. And then also, we never take pictures. We never do anything of any couples that are getting ready. And we don't do anything of like first looks. Of course, we are blocking everybody away from the first look. So no pictures like that. It's always like decor and stuff. But yeah, I totally agree with you. They definitely make sure your client is comfortable with it, because some folks, I never ran across, well, I've ran across one couple who were just like, for religious reasons, they didn't want any photos or anything taken or released. So, and it was a beautiful wedding. So, but I respect everybody's privacy and level of comfort.
Yeah,
But
absolutely.
all of my LGBTQ couples, they absolutely love, and I'm happy they love that too, because I like to make sure that they are published and they can inspire others. So that's why, oh, another thing that I'm really excited about, I mentioned before, about Black gay weddings, because I didn't know about them, and they have some amazing, it's an amazing safe space for Black LGBTQ couples. And I was like, okay, this was so genius. And even though I do absolutely love H&H and I love Equally Wed, and now to have them in the fold as well, so many places where we can inspire so many couples. So I absolutely love that.
I love that. I honestly, I think, because I had Michael and Lawrence on earlier, I think last week, the week before, and it was one of the
Yeah,
things that they're fantastic. They're just like
they are.
pure genius, and they don't sleep. Definitely, Lawrence does not sleep. But one of the things that I love is that, you know, and I think this is important to note, because you might see a hole in the industry and you see other people, maybe they're kind of trying to fill it, they're doing a little bit here and there. It's all about intersectionality. Like, what can we do to give more opportunities, to showcase more love, to do more for everyone, so that, again, it's one of those things, like, it's not that everyone has to try to fit into this like narrow hole. Like, let's widen it, and let's let as many men. I mean, the Knot is not the only place to showcase weddings. Wedding Wire was not the only place. Like, it wasn't like there was only one place. There are multiple places, and there should be multiple places, because, again, not everybody, just like you said, like, no one person can do all of the weddings in the entire world. You know, like,
Yeah.
no one publication can showcase all of the weddings that should be published and showcased, because all love should be celebrated. So, and representation is so important. So knowing, like, okay, I'm Black and gay, I know I can go to Black gay weddings and see myself there, and that's cool. Do you know what I mean? Like, to
That
know
is,
that's a dedicated space.
yes, and that the space is safe, and that their
Yeah.
love will be respected and their love will be highlighted and appreciated. And not saying that it's not appreciated in other platforms, but in this one we specifically for us. And that
Yeah.
the reason they started it was so like heartwarming, and even though it came out of a sad situation, I'm so happy they did it, because like it was so needed. It was so very needed. And like you said, people try a little bit to fill in when they can, but if it's not a safe and welcoming space, it's going to turn people away from even submitting their weddings.
Yeah.
So I'm so proud of them. I'm proud of the both of them.
Yes, me
Yeah.
too. Me too.
Yeah.
So what would you say, like we're kind of coming to the near end. What would you say, like some ways, easy tips for people to make sure that they're being authentic and not oversharing? Authentic in how they're presenting with, I personally my line is like, don't tell people, like if you didn't brush your teeth, I wouldn't tell them. I know you're not seeing them face to face, but nobody needs to know that. Like let's just keep that
I
to
would
yourself.
say I would say do it with class. Do it with class. Like if you think something, if you're questioning if something, well, okay, so that's going to be hard because people can define class classy in different ways. So maybe I should say, just remember you are a business first. And then, like, yeah, the oversharing, if it goes under the category, did I brush my teeth? If it sounds anything like that, don't share. But if it sounds like, oh, I love my favorite again, I love ricotta pancakes at this cafe. That's okay. I'm sharing something that will benefit that you could probably link yourself to and connect to me. So I think that's the best way. Like if it's something that somebody's going to be like, oh, what the hell is she talking about? Then no, I would not share that. If it's something like, oh my gosh, I do too, share. That's the two. I like to keep things basic. Those are the two. Those should be
I
the two basic things. And just keep
I
it
love
classy.
it.
We'll just seriously keep it classy.
Keep it classy. Easy criteria to be able to live by. I think that's good.
Yeah.
Awesome. Thank you so much for coming on tonight. It was so much fun. Seriously. You guys, you have to make sure that you go on. So your personal Instagram is CD underscore, or wait, tell me.
Well, okay. So I have two different companies. So Shonda Daniels Planning and Design. That one is CD underscore Shonda Daniels. And then a Monica Fair, that's at a Monica Fair. They're both planning businesses, but the first one is a Monica Fair was where I very first started. And again, it we have like wedding day direction options and also full service planning. But Shonda Daniels is for that highly designed, curated wedding weekend. So that's what that one's about. So you can follow me at both. That would be ideal. And
Yes.
yeah, any questions or anything about LGBTQ weddings, I'm here for you. I'm an open book, so always just shoot me a question.
That's amazing. And before we go, I think correct me if I'm wrong, was there another Instagram account or something that you're working on or you're a part of?
Yes. Ethos West. So Ethos
Yeah.
West, I Ethos West, and Ethos West. That's just at Ethos West. It's a collective that is for Black wedding professionals in the more higher end wedding industry that produce high end weddings. So that's another thing that I'm really proud that happened this year, because we didn't, over the course of the time of me first starting up until last month, we didn't have a place where that 100% celebrated us and that we could uplift each other and have conversation and just run ideas by and just feel connected. So our one central location, and so that's how Ethos West created, and we're extremely proud of it. So with Leah and Erica, we're all like, it's so many amazing people. We have the folks in our collective right now. If you take a look at them, they are the folks who changed the way that weddings look. They are the ones who did the designing for Style Me Pretty on a lot of their cover. Like, this group is so highly amazing that I'm just so proud of it. I am extremely proud of it.
That is so cool. And I think it's really important because it's important to understand, like, again, like we talked about at the beginning, to understand that there are professionals that should have been getting the accolades, the recognition for decades, that have been in the trenches doing the work, and not just doing the work, but let's be honest, like doing the work at an uphill battle, doing the work when everybody is doubting you, doing the work when it's like people are literally second guessing whether or not you're actually the planner, actually are you just the help? Are you just I mean, that's hard, like on just a regular basis as a human, but to do that and then to do it like 5 times better than other individuals who are just getting like regular accolades all the time. I think it's
Yes.
so, so needed.
It reminds me of something that I always say to myself. It's be your biggest fan first. Be your biggest fan first. Because, like you said, for me, I'm just speaking for myself, I have to look at, okay, I don't want to be put into the category, and I'm just going to say this, I'm being authentic. I don't want to be put into the category of what people define as a black owned business, like always late, like all those stereotypical things that they relate. So I have to fight against that. I have to fight against, okay, I'm a plus size black woman with locks. So people may not trust all of this whole package. So I have to fight and do everything extra hard and better than everybody because of that. Then finding out I'm a lesbian, I have to fight like so many layers of fighting, and then not to have that recognition for doing something that I absolutely love from an industry that's holding only certain people up to that pedestal. Like I said, if I didn't have a group of other black planners and creatives that were holding it together, holding us down, it would be depressing. It would
Yeah,
truly be depressing. So that's why we created Ethos West, to have that platform that we've always silently had, but just to put it out there so people could really see it and like partake in everything. We have some big names following us. We have the support of so many like of the higher end magazines and whatnot. So it's absolutely amazing. Yes.
that's so well deserved. Like it's like long time coming, well deserved. Like a couple decades late, but well deserved. You know, it's one of those things like, okay, better late than never. Like I'm not, you know, but and I think those are the things that, you know, again, it's all of those wins that it's like just it's astounding, because those are the things that's why there are even fewer black owned businesses in the wedding industry and other industries too. But do you know what I
Yes.
mean? It's like we have to work that hard, and you have to be 20 times better, and you have to like that's hard. It's hard to just be great and then to be like to literally spend most of your time just like getting to the first, like not even first base, like just to get up to the plate, you know?
Yes.
So I think it's important for people to understand like this is it's amazing, and I am so happy that there's Ethos West, and that, you know, like there are groups that are like really just celebrating the wonderful, like just the wonderful people in the industry who have been holding it down, who've been, you know, and it's like I said, like all of the other things, representation, like it shows younger black owned businesses that, you know what,
Yes.
you there too. Like it's not impossible. And I mean, like thank you for doing that, because those are the things that people need to see. Like that's how we continue this forward. Like you're like, it's not to say like we're, you know, we're clearly the same age as we were 20 years ago when we started, but just for other people who happen to age, like we don't age, but they do. So
Of
those
course
are the,
not.
but those are the things that, like, you know, we're not going to be in this forever, and so we want to leave it better than we found it. So I think
Yeah.
it's so great for you know, to really shine that beacon, you know. So thank you for doing that.
Oh, no worries. And just one last thing. If we all remember, no matter where we are in our business, just remember that you are somebody's silent mentor. You are somebody's silent wish. So make sure to use your platforms and use like what you do. Like people are watching. that is the biggest thing for me, is that when I meet other planners, they're like, I'm so happy I've been following you. And I'm seriously, I'm like, me? Okay. Now I'm really mindful of how I move in this world, because I know I am somebody's silent mentor, or I am somebody's like vision, a just starter. So I think if everybody moves around in this industry, is that thinking, having that thought in the back of their head, that they could be somebody's vision and mentor, to just, that's another guideline. That's another guideline to what to share and what not to share. Somebody watching you, and you could be quoted.
I love it. Yes. If you're, yeah, mentors should brush their teeth and, use deodorant, things, like not, yeah, just hygiene, just general hygiene.
Please.
So in case you all needed just an extra, criteria. So one, obviously make sure general hygiene, but then remember, and I love it. But it is true. Like, remembering that people are watching you, like you're leaving a legacy. What kind of legacy are you leading? And those are important things to keep in mind, because sometimes when you're, again, deciding, do I post this or that? People are like, well, it's just authentic. Well, understanding the difference. So that's good.
Well, this has been so great. I'm so happy that you had me here, and I love what you're doing, like bringing on all of these folks, and I'm learning so much, and just thank you for all that you do as well.
Oh, of course. No, thank you. Like, thank you for coming on. I think it's one of those things, like, I always want to make sure that people feel that they have opportunities to learn. Like, you have opportunities to get to know. I mean, and again, just like you said, there's so many amazing people who are silent mentors out there, and who could be your silent mentor. Like, if you're starting out in the industry and you don't know what you don't know. And if I don't know who Chanda Daniels is, and I don't know who, Michael and Lawrence are, or I don't know who to look up to, right? Because I don't know those people. And even if I find their Instagram accounts, that's great. But to be able to have a conversation, and that's what, I always want to make sure that this is something, it's not like we're going to sit down for a formal interview and, I want it to be like we're having a conversation and people are listening and they feel like they're part of it. They get to know who you are, so that they can be like, hey, I saw you on that, and I totally loved what you said. And, and it's not just what you said, but how you said it and your personality, and people relate to that. Just what we were talking about. People relate to that.
Yeah.
So, that's what it's all about. Like, if we're going to get beyond tokenism, we're going to get beyond like this just performative, like, allyship. It's all about seeing people as people. And if we don't show people who we are, it's hard for them to really know what to do, or who to say, or where to find you. But if they know that they can find you, like, there's a lot of IG lives that the people can just go back and watch, and they can absolutely get to know all these amazing folks. Like, that's what we want it to be about. So thank you so much. Thank you. I love you, love what you're doing. And I hope you have a wonderful night. Everyone, thanks for joining us. And if you haven't already, make sure that you follow the 3 accounts. We have Chanda Daniels, we have Monique Fair, and Ethos West. So make sure that you guys go follow those accounts. Like, comment, save all of their posts, because they're awesome. And then if you guys have questions, go ahead and DM Chanda, and she can answer all of your questions as well.
Thank you.
Amazing.
Good night.